Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl, Misha Mish. I am super excited to be here with you again on this Mindset Monday. And so we have already started our series, What Are You Feeding? And I'm excited to go through each area, each domain of life to really dive into the habits that will help you thrive forever. And so that is what we are talking about. What are you feeding in each area of life? We have already gone into the brain, and now I want to dive into your social life. What are you feeding your social life? What, how is your friend zone going? And what really makes this relatable is that your social life has a lot to do with your online social life as well. So, as a content creator, you are creating, if it's for your business, then you're creating content for your business, and that is very organized. If you are creating content as part of your lifestyle, as putting out your lifestyle brand, then that is going to be very spur of the moment most of the time. Or if it's more in an organized fashion, you're doing a lot of um, cuts, takes, you're setting the scene and you are pre recording. And that is what your audience is hearing, viewing, listening. They are seeing and they are getting lots and lots of information from you, whether you believe that or not. What are you feeding your social life? So here's a small story. What can happen if your social life goes down the drain? So let's call this girl Sally Sue. She was your average girl. Well, she always considered herself average because everything was average in her life. She was an average BC student most of her life. She did have some A's, but she was the most friendliest girl that you could ever meet. She really didn't have any haters, enemies, things like that. Everyone loved her. Whenever she walks into a room, she lit it up. She was very likable and teachable. And when it comes to her social life in person, you know, everyone liked her. Everyone chose her to be their bestie. Okay. But after a while, as she got older and then she got into a relationship, some of her friends did not like the relationship that she was in. But they said she was changing. And so they started to fall away. They didn't communicate well with her. And she just started to see that as people stopped calling, stopped texting, stopped reaching out, she found that she was going to do the same. Sally Sue decided that she was only going to give back the energy that was given to her. Now, the online world came into play. She created a Facebook page. She got into all of the other online platforms. And she became friends with everyone that she could become friends with. She reached out to people to become their friend. And as long as they clicked, yes, we could be friends, they were friends. And then every time she'd scroll on social media, she could see what's going on in other people's lives. However, she was not creating her own content or lifestyle on her own pages. She was only scrolling through everyone else's. Who knows? Perhaps she didn't deem it necessary. Perhaps she was too embarrassed to see what was that she, would always compare herself with other people. So she didn't think it was going to be likable by everyone else. But as time went on, all the friends that she had on social media ended up not even relating online. Why? Mainly because of the algorithm. I mean, when you don't engage that much with specific people, then you might not see their content. But if she's not creating content either, no one is able to engage her. So she found that her in-person social life was dwindling, as it started out very good in her opinion. And then it dwindled and it dwindled until it was no more. So now she doesn't have any friends in real life. And then she had this whole avatar where people became friends, but they didn't engage with her. Her social life, online and offline, was 0 to none. And she became lonely and she became depressed. And so her thoughts about what other people thought about her became what she thought about herself. That led to low self-esteem, that led to her doing things to herself. Ultimately, she would have never done if she was feeding her social life properly. So, all that to say, don't be like Sally Sue. You want to be feeding your social life. I know a lot of people will either go to one end of the spectrum or the other. For example, they are the most popular everywhere, and so they have no problem feeding their social life. But then you have other people who are like, oh, none of that matters. And then they end up having no social life. Ultimately, as this is an area of life that is well overlooked, it is highly important to maintain a social life. So, how do you do that? How do you feed your social life? Well, you first have to become social. So Sally Sue was only scrolling on social media, or in person, she would only give back the same energy that people would give her. So there was no trust component there. And when it comes to your social life, there is a trust component. So you have, your small circle of friends where those are the people that you super duper trust. Those are the random text messages that you send or receive from people. Your small circle of friends are literally those that know you from the inside out. And you know when they're joking and when they're not joking, kind of like your small circle of friends. You need to have those core people in your life. Why? Because support is necessary. It's like a flock of sheep. There's, with a flock of sheep, there's protection. You all kind of move in the same direction. You're going at the same pace most of the time. And you're just not going to let one go off and just be by themselves. You need that protection, that you need that in your life. There's something about having that support in this area of life. Your social life is also necessary for your well-being, for self-care reasons. So if you are, if you are one who you're a family person and you deal with your family a lot, you're going to need a break from your family at some point. So what does that look like? That means you turn to your social life. So you have to nurture that. What are you going to feed it? What are you going to feed it? Well, there's different ways that you can feed it, right? There's, of course, qualitatively and quantitatively. But this will kind of go back to your personality type. So, like introverts and extroverts. Introverts, you don't like a lot of people around you. Extroverts, you love to be around a whole lot of people. So, you got to know yourself. Once you know yourself, then you know, okay, I can handle being around 10 plus people. If you're an extrovert, then you can go to larger gatherings, like games where there's a lot of people, or if you do nightlife, there'll be a lot of people in the nightlife. And so that's a good place to start. If you are an introvert, you might just go out somewhere with one or two people, or you might go out by yourself. Don't sleep on going out by yourself. That is a thing, and it works. If you haven't done it, you should do it. Go out by yourself. This is another way to get to know yourself. And this is one way to feed your social life. So you want to feed your social life in different ways by serving. So if you are the creator, like you're the one that will create the gathering, when it's Super Bowl, everybody comes to your house for Super Bowl. You create the atmosphere, the environment. Or if you like to serve at the gathering, then you're the one who brings super necessary stuff. Like, just bring the napkins and the plasticware. Like, bring the main dish. So in the serving capacity, this is also feeding your social life because you are giving of yourself. Believe it or not, you are feeding your social life in this manner because people are able to see you in a different capacity than what they are normally used to. So that's what your social life is. Your social life is, okay, who are you outside of work? Who are you outside of mom, dad? Who are you? And so this should be the fun side of you and the giving side. So this is what you want people to see, the heart of you. So that's all that I have for this week's Mindset Monday on the What Are You Feeding series. This one was so good about feeding your social life. And so don't sleep on it. I know for myself, I was an introvert for a long time, but then I became an extrovert over time. And so it might be seasonal for me because sometimes I prefer the smaller crowd. And then other times I'm like, hey, what we doing, fam? And so it is so important to make sure that you're feeding your social life. Don't go without it. If you haven't been, start now. Find some time this week to make sure that you feed your social life in a healthy manner. Because this is all about being healthy in every area of life. But I want you to think about it today so that you can be on your way into a healthy domain of life, and that is your social life. Okay, I will talk to you all next time. Ciao.